Hi and welcome to Behind the Mic. My name is Cynthia Monkey, and as always, I bring you our most amazing personalities in our building, RMS. And today we have another amazing, beautiful, gorgeous, influential personality. Her name is Lillian Muli, and a lot has been said. Newspapers, blogs, name them. She has been all over. But today we get to sit with her and get to know who Muli actually is. Behind the cameras, behind the mics, who is Muli?
When you're in our
industry,
yeah, you have to be very careful. There are people who mean well, and then there are others. You know what? I'm a lover, so I'm never in fling situations. No,
you get in and it's just
I get in and I go for the long haul. This Nairobi of ours, the character development is real.
Hey, Muli.
Hey,
how are you?
Cynthia, good.
Good to see you.
You too, you look amazing.
Thank you, you too. So, we know you on screen. Who is Muli?
So Muli is the girl next door. Muli is a media personality. Muli is an introvert, but people think that she's out there. Have a very small circle of friends. I am very comfortable in my bedroom and in my personal space. I love githeri.
I don't see that coming.
I don't like meat. I eat meat, but it's not something that, I mean, I would do legumes any day, any day. I mean, I'd pass over a steak or for legumes.
Seriously?
Yeah. Okay. So Lillian is, people call me Nzisa, my family, my friends. You know, the girl next door, grew up right here in Nairobi, happened to stumble on the media, and that has defined my space and my life for 2 decades now.
Was that something you wanted to do? I mean, because you stumbled into it, like when you were going to school and building yourself, is that what you wanted to do?
No. No.
What did you want to do?
So my father, my late dad, God rest his soul in peace, was an advocate of the High Court. Later was in a law firm that he co-owned with his partners. And I looked up to this man so much. He was the best spoken man I had ever met. He was elegant, and I just loved, and those days they used to wear the wigs and the
the gowns. Yeah.
And the gowns. So I'd go to his office and I'd see his wig there and the gown, and I always wanted to do law.
Wow.
I always wanted to do law. So I mean, while in school as well with the debates and everything, I knew that this is what I'll end up doing, and because I want to follow in my father's footsteps. Fast forward, after my high school and my, because I at some point was in IGCSE, so I did my A-levels as well. Here I thought that I'm going to transition into law, and he was like, absolutely not. You're not doing law because you're not that type of personality. I don't see you being a lawyer. And I asked why. But I think our parents, you know, understand us better to some extent. So he literally frog marched me into Daystar, got the admission forms, and the rest is history. I did electronic media communication, a minor in marketing, and yeah, that's how I ended up in the media. I mean, it's a good thing. Clearly, he saw that the potential was there.
Yeah, he did.
But I still can't help but wonder what type of lawyer
you'd have made.
I'd have made.
Do you want to go back some days, like you just want to study law for fun? I mean, because now you're okay. You don't need to.
I think no. I think that was something that I was interested in before. My interests have since, you know, diverted into other things. So no.
Okay, so once you're done with TV and you've removed your makeup and your TV look, what do you do?
Well, that's very interesting. So once I'm done with my TV and I take off my makeup, and usually I do step out because I'm a social butterfly.
Yes.
I like to eat out. I like to discover new places, new spots, new restaurants. Most of the time you'll find me in a baseball cap and a fresh-faced sort of Lillian who is just very comfortable in that element. And I've started really taking care of my skin, so I love it when it's just Bila makeup and I'm
Breathing.
easy and it's breathing. But then the thing is, in this Nairobi of ours, sometimes you're in a supermarket and you're in your baseball cap and you're just there easy, trying to be easy, and guys are like, how can you come here? Even do But you know, I mean, for me, it just is so refreshing. Just almost feels like you've taken off a mask and you're able to now breathe and just, exhale.
Right. So you said you're an introvert. That is the one thing you would never put Lilian Muli next to. I mean, of all the words in this world.
Yeah.
Lilian, an introvert, never. How is that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been misunderstood, and I understand that it comes with the industry we are in for some of us, because there's some people who are totally drama-free. Nobody has an opinion, at least not a bad one. And then there's some of us who just draw that type of attention. But the thing is, and I always say, I feel like I have this, because the cameras are rolling, I have this, you know what I mean, resting face.
Yeah, that one.
So it's just a thing. It's just a cover. I feel that it's something that I learned to do because I was so shy initially in this industry. So I learned to act like that tough, no nonsense, I don't care, don't mess with me. But deep down inside is a very easygoing person that just wants to be left alone. Just don't be. And then, you know, at some point, because earlier in the industry, people were ruthless and they would say things, and I used to engage them. Because I felt that I had to prove a point, and I had to be that person that
even
says,
defend yourself, because nobody else
you can't come at me like that. Surprisingly, as years go by, when you stop paying attention to trolls and haters, they also somehow take a back seat and they leave you alone. But as long as you engage them, as long as you give them audience, then they'll keep coming. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
it does. It
pretty
does.
much, yeah.
So I love that you said earlier in your career you used to respond to some of the trolls.
Yeah.
What was your first troll moment like? Because half the time I feel like people are usually never ready for it, and then when it comes, you don't even want to wake up and go to work. You don't want to do anything. You want to hide and never show your face, because then it feels like every single thing you do is under a microscope. Everybody's trying to pick everything from you. How was that?
So the troll moments, and the thing is, when we came into the industry, because I came into the industry very young, I was actually still an intern at the time, there was not as much mentorship. I mean, now somehow anybody who comes in the industry sort of understands that Kenyans on Twitter are ruthless, that you have to somehow, you know, act a certain way. But back then, there was really not much mentorship. So yes, the trolls that would come in because I've blundered here and there, or I've been seen somewhere I should not be, or I've done something that I should not have done, or, you know, those, fine. I mean, granted, okay, that, fine. I mean, what do you expect? But there's sensitive things such as, for instance, I'll give you an example. I got married very young as well. And so that was a very public affair. Big wedding, all the media was there. It was, the proposal was in the newsroom. So it was like really everybody's business. And then I think a couple of years down the line, me and this guy are just not getting along. So we have to go our separate ways. So I go into a local service provider, TV service provider, to get a different account, because we had the same account for this particular provider. So I go there and I say, I need to change my whatever. So I'm changing my address. So the chick that I'm talking to figures out that there's an issue here. So this means that this chick has moved out, or there's an issue. And then the next day, it's all over. Like, it's all over the blogs and it was actually the dailies at that time, that Lilian Muli divorced. Lilian Muli has, and this is, I'm like, dude, I never ever said this. I literally went to get a different account for my service provider, for my whatever channels and whatever, and now somebody has gone and snitched, and now my business is out there. So there's sensitive times like those. There's things that are so, they're just so unnecessary, and you're like, why am I even in this space where people are all up in my business? So yeah, that's one of them, and that was a very low very low time for me because I just didn't want people knowing. First of all, you're dealing with a separation.
Yes.
And then people are misinterpreting it and saying it was because of this, this babe did this, and you know, nobody really knows the story.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a very innocent place because you just literally went to change your address, your contacts and everything. And then it's plunged the next day and everybody knows that there's an issue and you've separated from your person who gave you a very big wedding
and proposal.
And how ungrateful can you be? What do you really want out of this life? Because it was a fairy tale wedding.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, people, to this day, people still talk about it.
They
and
do.
because you were young, how did you deal with the separation and still wake up in the next morning and go on TV and do the news?
I was broken, but TV helps. And I always say to date, no matter what you're going through, when they put on your makeup and the clock strikes the hour, you have to chin up and do your thing. Because your personal problems should not reflect on I mean, they should not reflect. I mean, you are being watched by a very big constituent of people, so you have to deliver. So it helped because to some extent work somehow diverted what I was feeling, and I was able to throw myself into work. But later I did hit the wall, and I did have to do some therapy to heal and to have closure with that part of my life. Yeah.
And so it allowed you now to move on to the rest of your life.
Yeah.
How's that looking?
How's that looking? I don't know. I mean, I feel like an old soul. I feel 50 or 60 or 70. I feel like I've lived my life at such a fast pace. I feel like I've learned so much. I've made mistakes, I've learned from them, I've cried, I've laughed, I've healed, I've grown from my challenges. I feel I'm in a good place, Cynthia. I feel amazing. I feel amazing lately.
You do. And you even look it. And I can, like, it projects. You can tell that you're good.
Yeah.
So, to this day, are there maybe things that you regret doing?
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah. I mean, a lot. I regret procrastinating on a lot of things that I should have done. I regret trusting too easily. When you're in our industry, you have to be very careful. There are people who mean well, and then there are others who can literally project a different image of you out there based on how much you let them in and what you tell them. So I regret trusting too much, and this applies both to females and to males. I regret not taking my mental health seriously, and people say that therapy is a thing that guys who have issues seek and it's an elite thing. Absolutely not. When you're in a space such as ours, you must find somebody to talk to, because there are things that you cannot just trust with anybody, maybe apart from your mother, and even your mother or your pops is going to pass some judgment.
You're like, hey, I did not raise you like that.
So yeah, so I feel, and later on in life, I took it very seriously. And when things would get intense and overwhelming, I would actually seek, and I had somebody who walked me along a lot of challenges. And this person was referred to me by a former colleague of mine who told me, Lillian, look, because I used to share with her, and she was like, look, I know you're uncomfortable sharing about certain things, and this is a lonely space because you don't know who to share with, but therapy does not mean you're sick. It just means that some things are overwhelming. And a lot of our medical covers actually
ensure that you can actually get some help.
You can use your cover to talk to someone.
So,
and
you have a gorgeous son.
Yeah.
How is that?
I have two.
Raising
with
it's true, you have
I have two sons with a 9-year gap. My children have a 9-year gap.
How was the firstborn accepting the secondborn? How was that journey for you?
No,
like, you went home and said, so now?
No, so both of them are born in July. But one is 9 years older than the other. So they just, I mean, there's things that they will not get along on. The older one loves his PS, the little one is a more outdoor person. So they clash on things like those. I mean, it's my birthday, so I'm like, it's July. You guys share a birthday month, let's combine. The older one is like, absolutely not. I'm not having a birthday with a bunch of little kids here. Like, who does that?
Yeah.
Then the little one is like, Mom, you know, Josh is being mean to me. And I'm like, how is he being mean? He's like, he's not letting me watch. So they have these TV wars. They have, one likes the PS, the other one wants to watch his cartoons. I don't know. It's just, they're totally different personalities. One is very outdoorsy. The other one is more into gadgets.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, but
they love each other. But of course, the usual
sibling rivalry is always there. But you manage. How do you manage? Would be the question.
I have 2 nannies.
Those are 2 boys.
I have 2 nannies. It's a lot. I'm a busy person. I can't. Sometimes I just, and I told you my favorite space is the bedroom.
Yes.
So sometimes when they're just like too much, I retreat to my bedroom and I let the nannies handle that drama.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one thing I've known a lot of, because I have some few single mothers, they'll come and tell me, there are days I feel like I'm not doing well enough and I'm not being my full self with my children. I am failing as a mother in one area or another.
Yeah.
Do you have those moments?
I
and
do.
How do you deal with it?
I do, and especially because I work so hard.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I do away from my day job. And so sometimes balancing that time is tricky. And so I've had to have a conversation with myself about how to best manage my time so that I don't relegate the mommy duties to the nannies.
Yeah.
So, like recently and in the last 2 years or so, I am very present and I dedicate certain days to just being or spending the evening with these kids and bonding and watching cartoons. We watched one called The Beast. I think it's on Netflix. It's called the Sea Beast or something. Something. It's like some big sea animal that. And I was just there with them and I looked at that situation with my 2 boys and I was like, this is priceless.
It is.
I mean, these are moments that live with us forever in terms of our memories. My kids are everything to me. So I do sometimes feel guilty when the rush for the money and, you know, the extra income sort of takes priority over them.
Yes.
Because yes, and then I have to provide for them. So it's a catch-22. So I'm like, okay, I'll sit here and watch cartoons all day and then you guys will eat what?
Good question. Good question. Speaking about eating what, there's always a misconception, and this happens across board for most media personalities. They'll assume your lifestyle is funded by your job. But you said there are a couple of other things that you do. So someone will sit and say, like, you know, you're Muli and Alipangwa 1 million.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've seen things that, have you seen the car Lillian drives? Have you seen where she lives? Have you seen? No, I'm just trying to survive like every other Kenyan.
So eyes closed, if you could pick one place to go on a holiday, where would it be and why?
Oh, wow. You know, I abuse the coast. My view travel guys are doing my bookings. I'm like, hold up. How am I in a coastal resort and you've put Milko Garden view? See, I could have just gone here tonight. I can't see
Where is it?
Where's the bloody ocean, you know? So yeah, I love the coast. I love it. I love the sound of the ocean. I love to travel alone and just sit and, you know, on the balcony and just look at the sea and listen to my thoughts. I'm a bit of a weird person sometimes. I talk to myself a lot. Well, not like Ati, Sasa Lilian, no. But
I feel like
internally.
it's an occupational hazard.
It's a lot of people do that, yeah.
Yeah. So, this is probably very few questions. What is the one thing you would want your sons to grow up to be?
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Man, so I'm raising my sons to be very confident men. I always tell them that I want you guys to be successful so that when I'm an elderly woman, you can take care of me. So I want them to be confident. I want them to be successful. I want them to be good men to their women. And you'd be surprised because I've done a lot of reading to understand the men in this our situation. Men who are raised by so there's men who have daddy issues because they don't have a father figure present.
Yes.
But if you're raising boys and the father figure is not present, then you have to be the type of woman that is so loving, that is so hardworking, that is so decent in their eyes. These boys, I want them to be the type of boys that will be good husbands to their wives. I just wish them so well, but most importantly, I want them to just thrive without having to, you know how for me, for instance, I never had a godfather. I never went to any office because I knew anybody because my dad had died. I want them to be that type of personality, the type of children who after campus will go into an office and will get employed because they can articulate, they're confident, they're able to respond to questions, and confidence for me is everything.
Yeah.
So I want them to be confident kids more than anything, and happy children, and comfortable with what we have, the little we have, you know.
They're able to, they don't need to go and start doing What is the one misconstrued thing about Muli? There are a billion things. What is the one thing that is the most misconstrued thing?
There's so many, man. But mostly, this gold digger babe. Honey, I just like looking nice. If I have a nice car, it's mine. If I have nice clothes, they're mine. If I'm just a package, I just come as I am. But then I don't know why people, and I think it's so disrespectful that as a woman, if you look good, somebody's behind that.
Do you get that a lot, all the time? All the time. It's like, so, who's the man? I'm like, oh, gee, I don't know. Me?
I know.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Could be.
Exactly. That has come out strongly. I don't know, I've dated billionaires. These guys are not billionaires. Which billionaires? Maybe I'm even the one who's taking care of stuff half the time. It's crazy.
Oh my God. Yo.
Yeah, I mean, the misconceptions are there, but I don't know. I guess people read what they want to read in people, so it's fine.
But you're happy?
I'm good. I have good days, I have bad days. Yeah, but most of my days are happy nowadays.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, what would be your parting shot as we finish this?
We don't have we don't have Getherian.
No. The producer will make sure that after we're done.
My parting shot, I don't know. I just feel very strongly that I should talk to young girls and also young men are coming to this industry.
Yes.
This industry does not, I mean, if I had to do this again, would I do it? Yes, I would, but I would do it differently. You come into this industry without a mentor, you're going to get into a lot of trouble. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to be very lonely a lot of times. You're going to be broke sometimes because you're going to try and live up to expectations of what society sees you as. I find it weird when I see journalists saying, thank you, my fans, because in Nairobi, this space has made us think that we're celebrities, and essentially what we are is journalists. So I just feel that for anybody who's come into this space, that you need to really think about your brand, what you want to be represented for. I mean, I've learned from my mistakes. I'm happy that I have brands that want to work with me, but that's because I also had to tone down a lot.
Yes.
So just getting into this industry and being very intentional about being a certain type of brand. What is it you want to do? Do you want to do politics? Do you want to do social issues? Do you want to do... I feel like for me, I've done everything. So at some point, I felt a little bit lost because I didn't know
who you were,
who I was and what I was representing. Yeah. So that mentorship and even just reaching out to some of the senior people in the offices, whether it's the editorial director or whatever, and just asking for a clear direction, because these people are happy to help. I think a lot of us shied away from that early days.
Yes.
And people are not going to offer you help if you don't reach out.
Yeah, true.
So I think just that, just be very intentional about charting a path that will lead you into bigger opportunities and greater opportunities, and be very careful about the image you project out there. I mean, for me, I keep saying the reason why my kids are not on social media is because I'm never going to allow anybody to put them through what I went through. Never, ever. And by virtue of the fact that they're associated with me, of course, that attention will be drawn to them unnecessarily. So I want them to just be normal kids in their schools and live their quiet life. Yeah. Oh, wow. My little baby has dreads, and it's unfortunate because he never had a choice. And I feel like I contradict myself when I say let people decide what they want, and yet I put dreads. But I mean, his hair was just type of hair that locked itself.
Right.
It just locked itself, and he looks so good now. I can't just I can't shave them.
And he likes it as well.
He doesn't know better. He just knows that that's how he, I don't know, I think he thinks he was born with dreads. Oh, but he's gorgeous, my goodness. I mean, they're both gorgeous.
Who does that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's a baby, he's 3.
thank you. Even thank you so much for
Yeah,
taking time to
thanks,
sit here with
Cynthia.
us, to talk with us, to actually open up about certain things, because a lot of what you said is something that nobody would have thought ever.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that.
Thank
We
you for
appreciate
having me.
And after this, tunaenda kutafuta githeri
Yeah.
na mutura ya kiria
And Dengo.
ya dengu. Yes? Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for being with us. This has been Behind the Mic. Soon, I'm not sure who we're hosting, but whoever it is, I'm hoping that you will be sending your questions so we can have a lot more conversations and make sure that you get to learn more what happens behind the mics with your personalities. Have a good one.